Hi, and welcome back to All Things Pop Pop. Today was the season finale for The Flash, and OMG, this episode was crazy. There's so many things I love to talk about, but I think I'm only going to go on my top 5 moments of the episode. So let's start with moment number 5. The farewell between Barry and Joe. Throughout the episode, they had so many touching moments, but I think it was this one moment where Barry was ready to time travel and he was saying goodbye to Joe for possibly the last time, and Joe called him son and Barry called him father, and it was such a great moment because that's the biggest thing I think that Barry has to lose by time traveling is the connection that he has with Joe. And I love them when they're on screen. Like, their chemistry is the whole reason that I watched this show. Their bond is so great and it's so enjoyable to watch on screen. I love whenever they have scenes together, and this moment was so sweet, so touching, and just so very sad. Number 4, Eddie kills himself to stop the Reverse Flash. Now you may wonder, why isn't this number 1 or number 2? Why isn't it higher on the list? Why is it just number 4? I'll tell you why. I don't really care about Eddie. He was never one of my favorite characters, so him dying was, okay, whatever. And I hate Iris, so I was happy when they were together because I want Iris far away from Barry. She's toxic. So he was good to, distract her and keep her away from Barry. Barry has more important things to do than worry about Iris. This moment, what it did was just raise so many questions about how they were even able to stay in the moment that they were. Eddie kills himself so that he can kill the Reverse Flash. So by doing so, that means that the Reverse Flash was never able to actually go kill Barry's mother. So if that's the case, then how are they still existing in that present time if none of those events ever happened? My theory is that the Reverse Flash is way smarter than that. And even though Eddie killed himself, I think he may have killed himself in vain. Reverse Flash had a plan B in the case that, something were to happen to Eddie, he dies. So of course he handled that somehow. We just don't know how. And it's been confirmed by the producers that Eddie will not be part of the main cast for season 2, but it doesn't completely take him out of the show. We are dealing with time travel here, so it is possible that he can come back. I have no doubt that the Reverse Flash will return as well, being that he's pretty much the main nemesis of the Flash. It makes no sense to have killed him off so fast, so of course he'll be back. And again, if he's not back in this Earth 1 form, he's going to be back in some other parallel universe. If he didn't already account for what had happened, if he didn't already have a plan B that he had set in motion. Number 3, Barry destroys the time sphere in which the Reverse Flash was going to use to get back home. This moment was great because as soon as you see Barry run out that wormhole, he just jumps straight for the Reverse Flash and he just knocks him out. Of course, the Reverse Flash is furious, so he just gets on Barry. He's like, I'm gonna kill you, but not just you, I'm gonna kill all your friends, and not just your friends, I'm gonna kill your dad, I'm gonna kill everyone, so you shouldn't have fucked with me. And that was such a great moment because damn it, he was so angry. This was finally the moment where you saw that the Reverse Flash was kind of happy. He's like, oh, home, I'm going home. And that's it. It was taken from him in that instant. As soon as Barry just showed up and jumped on him, he's like, what were you doing? Why didn't you save your mother? Leave me the fuck alone. He kind of just wanted to go home at that point. He didn't even care that Barry had a happiness. He just wanted to get out of there. He could figure out some other way to destroy Barry. Number 2, when the Reverse Flash saw Jay Garrick's helmet, in order to have the reaction that he had, he must have seen that before. As soon as it landed on the floor, he was like, well, it's time for me to get out of here. And who would say that if they've never seen that before? How was that the moment where he needed to get out? Sure, you can say, well, it was a wormhole, it was spitting things out. Well, he can dodge them, right? But as soon as he saw the helmet, I think the helmet represents something bigger. Obviously, the helmet belongs to Jay Garrick, which is the original Flash. But from what we know in the show, Barry Allen's the first Flash. So in order for Jay Garrick to have existed, he could exist in a completely different universe. And perhaps the Reverse Flash has encountered him before. Maybe the Reverse Flash is even from that time stream, and then Jay Garrick kicked his ass up out of there. Who knows? But there's so many questions here. One, does he know that helmet? Two, has he interacted with Jay Garrick before? Three, has Jay Garrick kicked his ass? And that's why he doesn't even want to be anywhere near his helmet. Also, I was surprised to see the scene because it was actually the image that was released, and I had talked about it in a previous video, that it was supposedly from the set of The Legends of Tomorrow. But clearly it was from this set. It showed the Jay Garrick's helmet on the floor beside Reverse Flash. And my theory was the multiversity, and that has been confirmed by the producers. We should expect to see multiple Flashes, and what this does is just introduce us to the multiversity in the sense that there can be multiple Flashes from different worlds, and Jay Garrick perhaps doesn't belong to the same one that Barry does, but he does belong in another world, and at some point they may cross over. And moment number one, of course, is when Barry goes back in time to save his mother, except he doesn't. And that moment where he has that eye contact with his future self and he just shakes his head, he's like, no, don't do this. That moment was so heartbreaking for me, because how must that feel that you had already known that the future self had attempted to come save you, and that was never in the cards. It was never part of the plan for you to save your mother. Your mother's always going to be dead, and there's never anything you can ever do about it, no matter how much you time travel, no matter how fast you get. And that has to be so devastating for Barry. And that moment is just one of the saddest moments in all of Flash. He's worked so hard just to get to that moment and to have it there right before him, and then his future self say, no, this is not what you're meant to do. You can't do this. This is not what happens. And the last interaction that he'll ever have with his mother, and she's dying in his arms. And that is so sad. And I love this episode for many reasons. There were some things that I didn't like. I don't like that there were some questions that just didn't even get addressed regarding the whole paradox between the Reverse Flash and Eobard Thawne. That makes no sense. I really hope that they explain that. The producers just say that next season will start with all of this being resolved, so I'm excited for that. And this was a major cliffhanger, of course. We don't know what happened to Barry. We don't know if the timelines change, but we did see a few kind of teasers throughout the episode, which was, of course, when Barry was going back in time, he was able to see his life essentially all at once because of the Speed Force. And we did see that Caitlin Snow, which we knew was going to turn into Killer Frost eventually, she does turn. So that happens in this time stream. Not just that, but we also have been teased about Vibe, which is Cisco's character, and it's pretty much what I had suspected from the beginning, that the particle accelerator had affected them all at the same time. Just it would have taken longer for them to realize their power. So what do you guys think? Was this finale satisfying? Was the cliffhanger worth it? And what do you think about Barry not saving his mother? Should he have tried anyway? There's so many. I don't know the answer to that question, but I can't imagine what it must be like being Barry. And perhaps I would make the same decision that he did. If you already saw your future self go through these events and ultimately know that this is not how it works, then how would you feel about that? So let me know in the comments down below, and thanks again for watching.